Have you been selling your paintings for $300 but want to sell them for $3,000? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you 6 tips on how to increase the value of your paintings so you can sell them for more money. First off, raise your prices and be confident about it. Start to think of your artwork as a luxury item, and customers are willing to pay more for luxury goods than they are commercial items. So think about your artwork in that way. A person is willing to pay like $10,000 or more for a really fancy watch. So why wouldn't they pay $10,000 or more for a really fancy painting? And so this is something to keep in mind when you are trying to put yourself in the perspective of a buyer, especially a buyer who has the money to spend thousands of dollars on a piece of artwork. That said, it's also important to know that increasing your prices is not the only thing you need to do to be able to increase the value of your artwork in a customer's eyes. The biggest thing is increase your skill level. For example, if you are a representational artist, you want it to look accurate, because accuracy is the simplest way that a customer, when looking at your artwork, can see if it's good quality or not. I mean, if you are painting a cat and it doesn't look like a cat, or the eyes are all wonky, something like that, it shows that you are a novice. And a person is not going to pay a $3,000 price for a novice painting. Next tip is to paint larger. Bigger paintings sell for more money. Simple as that. But along these same lines, you also want to use better quality materials, so paint on thicker canvases and frame your paintings. Framing instantly elevates the price and the value of your work in the eyes of the buyer. And framing your work isn't all that difficult. I have several framing tutorials. If you'd like to watch any of them, you can check the links in the description of this video for those. The last 2 tips have to do with building your brand. Now, I know a lot of artists don't like to think of themselves like a business, but you are a business, especially if you're trying to raise the prices of your artwork. And so when thinking about building your brand, first thing is you want to show your work with other artists who have already built their brand to a level that they can sell expensive paintings. This means that if you get into juried art fairs or juried art exhibitions, you can have your work right next to other work that's already priced very expensively. And this helps you to sell your work for more money. The customers at these type of events trust the judges and feel like if your work is being shown alongside these other artists, well, it must be worth the same amount of money. And so this is an easy and very quick way to elevate your prices to a higher level. One example of this that's so poignant is in Oklahoma City. Okay, there is a craft fair there. It's called a Fair of the Heart. It is nationally ranked. It's one of the top 20 craft fairs in the whole country. So it's huge. I think it's like 50 or 100,000 people will show up to it over the weekend. It's an event that I sell my work at frequently, and I'll make around $3,000 to $5,000 if I do one of those shows in a weekend. But the thing is, the customers who go to this are not looking for expensive stuff. Okay, so I had a painting at one of them hanging on the wall. I took an original. It was a cow, 24 by 30 inches, painted really well, and something that's super popular that I sell lots of prints of. And I had it priced for $500. Now, this is lower than what I normally price my original paintings of this size at, but I knew that there was no chance of me getting more than that at this event, and I had had the painting for a while, and I was just willing to sell it for less money. So I take it there, I hang it up on the wall, and I have all these customers come in. Well, what's that priced at? What's it for sale for? And I would tell them $500 and it's on sale. And they would look at me like I was crazy. One woman in particular said something so mean to me about my price that it sticks with me to this day. She's like, "Well, you sure think highly of yourself, don't you?" And she just huffed and walked off. And I was like, wow, okay. On the other hand, in the same city, there is another event called Predo West. This is an international art exhibition. It's the #1 art exhibition in the entire world for cowboy and Western art. But they also have a lot of wildlife art at it. And if you go to this exhibit, it is so beautiful. But they have prices for sale on these paintings that are extremely high, higher than I've ever seen anything priced in the Midwest. Most of the paintings are at minimum $10,000, but some of them go up to $20,000 or even $30,000. $3,000, and they had sold signs on them, lots of sold signs. So if you think about this, these events both took place in Oklahoma City, so the same place, but they had completely different audiences of people who were going to them. And so this is why it's super important to figure out where you're going to be selling your work at if you want to sell it for more money. Now, it's hard to get into some of these juried exhibitions, so I would say if you are just starting out trying to apply to them, start at some smaller ones and then work your way up, because this is where the last tip comes in. It's your exhibition record, your awards, and the things that you have gotten from media exposure, because all of these things make your brand look more luxury in the eyes of the buyer. If you think about it, if a person is willing to spend $3,000 on a painting of yours, they're probably buying it as an investment. So if you have an exhibition record, or you've won awards, or if you've had a lot of media exposure, these factors all weigh into the buying decision when it comes to a person paying that much for your paintings. All right, well, I hope you found these tips helpful. If you'd like to learn more ways to sell your work as an artist, check out this video. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.